Mora in charge against Damien Massey of the UK at 7-2. Alexander Kazakis just edging it against Tim de Ruyter, 6-5. Shane Walford now 3-2 down against Michael Bohannon. Antonius Kakaris and Albin Aushin 3-3. If that goes all the way, expect a lengthy contest. Mario He on the hill against Liu Riteng at 8-5. Jose Alberto Delgado 4-3 up on John Lagarde, another fine Filipino player we haven't seen an awful lot of until this week. Jan van Lierop 7-5 over Max Lettner. Niels Fine 5-1 over Gerson Martinez. Aloysius Yap just starting out against Chang Yu Lung. Yap leading 2-0. And Oscar Dominguez and Imran Majid all locked together at 6-6.
Elliott Sanderson is at the table. Did he get out far enough to see the potting angle? He's having a look. Usually the mannerisms of a pool player tell you everything. And that's why he looked a little disheartened. Gary will have known this. The same goes in the Q Sport world of snooker. It always tells you, doesn't it? Obviously Gary can't see the angle from there, but he'll have had one look at Elliott's facial expressions like, he can't see the potting angle.
It's one of those matches, actually, Carl. On table one, quite often, there's a decided favourite. Can't make my mind up who I think will win this one. I think if I had to put money on it, I would say Wilson might be the favourite.
Yeah, I'm a bit like you. I feel like Elliott should really be winning the game. You know, he's full time now, he's been playing long enough. But I still feel like the experience of this particular setting, you know, going out there and actually playing the game, maybe Wilson's still got the edge. One thing for certain is we have lost the crowd around table one. That's purely and simply because the huge scoreboard in the middle of the arena. I'm sure there's another match running close somewhere, so people wander off, don't they, Phil?
This is it. It's a really good number of people in here, but they're dispersed around all of the tables.
Yeah, I'm just glad that we got to see the crowd around table one, because that really gives you an idea of what is achievable in these type of venues. Kicking at this slow. He's missed it.
I had a chat with Gary after his defeat a little earlier by Copigny, lost 9-4. That was in winners' qualification. He said he didn't play the best. He didn't have the best of run early on. And he found himself facing a big deficit when he might have only been, well, in his words, a rack or two behind. Now, though, it's about dusting yourself down and getting on with things.
Yeah, he said the same to me. Phil, we went to Starbucks, actually, straight after the match and after we did comms. We were outside, got ourselves on a moped, just went about a mile down the road to Starbucks, and yeah, he told me the same. He says, when you play one of the top 8 players, you know, one of the creme de la creme players, he said he feels like he just needs a little bit of help from the pool gods to stay with him or get up to the best of starts. That's handy if this goes past the 8.
He has had some very good wins, though, over big-name players in the past, Wilson. The one thing about him, he genuinely enjoys his pool. He's got to enjoy the outcome of the first rack.
Yeah, and the other thing is it's not so much just enjoying the pool. I think he enjoys the vibe around it. You know, he's having a go at it. He knows it's not his main Q sport, so he can be a bit loose on the backhand. But obviously when you go out there, the killer instinct always takes over. But I'm with you, Phil. He seems to be enjoying what the world of the WST brings in, but also the WNT, the World Nineball Tour. He enjoys this side of it as well.
3 matches so far here for Wilson. He beat Algirdas Sadkus 9-0 to open up. His opponent there was from Lithuania. Then he beat Nick Malai 9-3. That was a good win over the Greek before losing to Ko Pin Yi. As for Elliott Sanderson, well, he was behind the 8-ball right from the get-go, lost his first match, and it was a tough draw. 9-7 to Kuo Po Cheng. But he's bounced back on the one-loss side with wins over Jundal Mazon of the Philippines 8-5. And then earlier today, Win Ngok Thai 8-1. But as we said, I think he's got his hands full against Wilson, who benefits from that late rolling 3-ball.
Yeah, it looked like a dry break, but watch this 3-ball just trickling into the side.
Tell you a very interesting stat about Gary Wilson. This is his 4th appearance this year in one of the World Nineball Tour's major ranking events, and he's reached single elimination in each of the first 3, so trying to keep a perfect record intact in that regard. Got to the last 16 of the UK Open, the last 64 of the Spanish Open, last 32 of the European Open in Fulda. Consider there are 256 player fields. If you make the last 64, that's getting to the top 25%. That shot, though, will annoy him greatly. There was room.
Keep telling Gary at some point he's got to make the switch and get a pool cue. Doesn't have to be an out-and-out 9-ball pool cue, but certainly something that is a bit more resemblance than the cue he's using. He's basically using a snooker cue, but with a real thick tip, but it's just not quite the same for me. And I think he knows this as well. It's just taking the step to do it.
Yeah, old habits die hard. Not a bad jumper, though, considering his lack of experience.
It's close, you know. Wow. If the 6-ball goes, these are not easy though. That camera is very deceiving. The overhead camera would tell us a better story. Yeah, because now I don't even know the 6 passes the Brown 7 fill, to be honest.
I really don't think it does.
As where from that angle you would probably say it does, but I don't think it does anyway. It's left Elliott a jump shot here. And at this level, Elliott will be stood behind it, really fancying the jump shot.
I think that's the snooker player's mentality. He's played for years and years and years. If you put someone in a snooker, they have to come off a cushion to hit it. Or swerve, of course. The jump is not part of the equation. Did not make the elevation, caught a lot of the 7-ball. That wasn't too clever, was it, Carl?
No, it was very close. So you've got to get the cue ball popping quickly. But this is not the start Sanderson wanted.
Now, Wilson has been known, surprisingly, to miss quite a few easy 9 balls. That one, though, right into the heart of the pocket. Due care and attention given. He doubles his lead to 2-0. By the way, for the rest of the day here in the main arena, we will be watching losers qualification matches, because as for the winners qualification, well, matches have either finished or they're currently in progress. Let me give you what I know of the latest scores. Nineball pool is a wonderfully international affair, and Brunei will be represented in the last 64 thanks to Ahmad Tawfiq, who's defeated Phuong Nam Pham of Vietnam 9-7. As for the winners qualification matches still going on, John Morris 7-3 up on Damien Massey, 6-6 Alexander Kazakis and Tim de Ruyter. Shane Walford 3-2 down against Michael Bohannon. Antonia Skakar is 4-3 up on Albin Auschen, who's been struggling of late. And I'll give you the others in a moment, after we see the outcome of this break. From which Wilson turns away in disappointment.
Well, he'll be giving this one back. There's no value in taking this shot on for Wilson. Not a chance he's going to take this shot on. That's a very, very low percentage rollout. Even if he pots this ball, you've got to get lucky to get on the 2 ball, because it's not easy to control the pace of this shot. Yeah, you see how the cue ball's just flying around the table? That was not a good rollout for me.
The only positive with that shot, how it's finished up, the 2 has been tied up.
Play this with right English, stun off the bottom rail. He's gone straight into it. Oh, this has worked out good for Gary. Flicking the 4 ball, then going into the 2 stuck balls has worked out okay.
He was bemoaning a lack of good fortune in his previous match. I've got no reason to disbelieve him. What we've seen so far in this small sample size, he's having a reasonable run in this match.
Yeah, he just likes to have a moan, doesn't he?
Well, you said it, not me, but yeah, I think that's a common trait, though, isn't it, in Q Sports players? You were pretty good, actually, Carl. You took defeats on the chin.
Because I was used to it, Phil. That's all. I think you go through spells where certain losses wind you up, certain losses hurt. But I think as you get older, I mean, you just got to take it on the chin, haven't you, and get on with the next one. The good thing now is there's more opportunities out there for these pool players.
You're very forthright, Carl, so I'm going to put you on the spot here. If you don't want to answer,
all right,
feel free. Who's the biggest moaner in Nineball pool?
You know I'll answer, that's why you've asked me. You know I'm not going to hold back. The biggest moaner, as in for bad luck on the table?
Well, generally.
Generally.
If you can give us bad luck on the table first, maybe.
Yeah, I'm just going to think it through. I want to make sure I don't miss anyone out.
Obviously, folks, a lengthy list. All very well having luck, but you've got to make the most of it, and Wilson has done so. Pretty much a carbon copy of the 9 he knocked in rack 2, goes in rack 3, and Gary Wilson leads Elliott Sanderson by 3-0.
Yeah, the loser of this match is out of the tournament. The biggest moaner on the table. I tell you, it's not so bad. Chris Mellon. He likes a little whinge up. Yeah, I'm going to say Mellon.
Okay, then for purposes of balance, who is the least moany player you know?
I'm going to say Shane Van Bonen. He just seems to me like he accepts that you're going to lose. I think he's disappointed. Like the last match, obviously he's going to be disappointed. He's going to be thinking, how have I found that middle pocket from there? He's so reliable in them situations. So obviously he's going to be upset. But I don't really know of him moaning about the game or saying I've had bad luck or I've never really heard it from him.
Now then, it's conventional wisdom to say that snooker players are handicapped in 9-ball pool because their break-off isn't up to scratch. Well, in terms of the outcome of that break, we can't say that about Wilson's. The 1 is in, the 2's on, the 3's in the open. Happy days. Oh, not happy there though. He caught that too well. A really sweet contact with reverse side as well. Just overscrewed the cue ball, and that's why the 6 is in the way.
Yeah, it's little mistakes like that. You know, you've got a chance to go 4 up, really turn the screw on your opponent. He's got a good kick shot here though. Could go close to potting it. There's a lot of balls down the bottom end of the table, so good things can happen. Oh, wow. Well, I don't think he'll be moaning after this match about bad form. Look at that. The 9-ball comes round, flicks it in behind the 6.
One of Gary Wilson's most notable victories in his limited time in 9-ball was over Mario He, and I can tell you on table 5, Super Mario has defeated Liu Riteng 9-5. As for Elliott Sanderson, well, he's known as the shouter. If the luck keeps going this way throughout the match, he'll be shouting out in frustration. Abject frustration. Yeah, an open table, ball in hand. Well, I suppose he's very grateful that the 4 nestled up to the 7.
Just trying to drop in this little gap over to the left behind where he's leaning over the table. No, he's not got into the cue ball enough here. That's always going to be the problem with using a snooker cue. The cue's not going to help him as much as a pool cue. Yeah, and he's just playing simple little safeties. I wonder if Elliott can jump over this ball and try and stop the cue ball quick. Keep the cue ball where the pink is, and then the pink 4 hits the 9 and moves away. Well, that's going to be tough regardless. I also wonder where the 6 ball goes. If he hits the left side of the pink. I think he's actually trying the first shot. Not easy to get the cue ball stopping quick though. Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Where I don't think he looked at the 6 ball, Phil. I think that's it. I think if he'd have come round and looked where the combo went, I think he'd have chased the 6 more to go in that pocket. especially where the 8-ball is. The 8-ball's making it a big pocket. Look where the 6 hits. Hit that harder, it goes in. He's missed the trick.
Now what a big pot coming up.
Where's the cue ball here? Talk about making life hard work. He's actually got away with that a little bit. Could have come out a lot worse. 5's over the pocket. 6 to 7. Needs work. Oh, Gary. These snooker players that miss balls on the pool table, you're just so used to watching them on the big 12x6, but the fact that it's a different ball, the balls on a pool table are by far, I'm not saying double the size, but you get what I mean, Phil, they're a lot bigger, so any little bit of spin just sends that cue ball off. You can't believe he's missed that.
And mistakes of that ilk often turn matches. Sanderson's had very little quality table time. He's had very little luck, actually. So he has to make the most of this.
Yeah, well said, Phil. He really does. And he'll know that. That's a good shot. Full table draw. Can easily lose the cue ball.
He's a real character, Elliott Sanderson. Devotee of the sight right method, pioneered by an English gentleman called Stephen Feeney. It's worked so well for so many players in snooker, works well for him in pool. It's been applied to other sports as well, like bowls, I think darts, certainly golf. He's originally from the town of Barnsley, famous for the cricketer Sir Geoffrey Boycott, for the cricket umpire Dickie Bird, and for the very sadly recently deceased Sir Michael Parkinson, the interviewer known the world over. Now living in Rutherglen in Scotland. He's moved up to be the resident pro at a club up there. As you say, playing full time now, Elliott, and trying to make his way, looking for that big breakthrough. And that rack could really help him. What about winners' qualification, which is still grinding on, actually? Oscar Dominguez and Imran Majid 7-7. Aloysia Schaap 4-1 up on Chang Yulong. Good outside bet, I think, for this Yap. Niels Fine 5-4 on Gerson Martinez of Peru. Max Lechner in danger of being sent to losers' qualification. He's 8-6 down against Jan van Leerup. Jose Alberto Delgado 5-4 over Jean Lagarde. Antonios Kakaris 4-3 on Albin Auschen. As I said, that one has got all the hallmarks of a marathon. Kakaris was last off on Tuesday night, very late, in a match where the shot clock was employed after, I think it was 8 racks. Michael Bohannon 4-3 on Shane Walford. Alexander Kazakis 7-6 on Tim de Ruyter. And John Morra on the hill against Damien Massey at 8-4. Well, the one's gone in unconventionally, Carl.
Yeah, let's just trying to duck. Trying to use this 9-ball. It's not really good enough, though. This has gone wrong. It's gone a lot wrong. The safety side of 9-ball pool is actually quite ruthless. Gary will know this, because in snooker, other than the distance of the safety, listen, when you're playing the top snooker players, you've got to play fantastic safeties, but distance counts for everything, doesn't it? In pool, it's not so much about distance, it's about trying to tie both balls up or get a bit of protection. Oh, Elliott, that'll hurt. Always hurts that as a pro when you cue across one and miss a long one. That kind of sets the tone for the rest of the match as well.
Yeah, he didn't just miss that, he butchered it. Didn't rattle in the jaws at all. Again, the two has travelled a little more than Wilson wanted. I think there is a path through. There is a route past the 9. Yeah, and past the 5 also.
Needs help with the 3 ball. 2 ball's going to come to the back rail. Just feel like this rack fill, the way the match has gone, Gary won the opening 3, kind of threw away rack 4. This could really make a big difference in this match early on now. Kick this off the side rail. He's got to hit the bottom side of the 2 because he wants the cue ball to come back onto the bottom rail. Didn't want the contact with the brown 7 though, did he?
That was nicely done. Tell you what, the roll on table 1 has disappeared. It's very good now. It was never the table. These Rassons are playing beautifully. As Jeremy Jones suspected, it was the air conditioning. Now we've sacrificed a little bit of comfort by having the air turned off. But now the balls are running very, very truly because they were being blown. It was almost imperceptible, but it was enough to make a difference.
No, you're right, it was. After the first day, we went out there at the end of day 1 and we come to the decision that we feel like the aircon blower right above table 1 was actually blowing quite a hefty wind, so we made the decision to just turn that down and see if it made a difference. We feel it did.
Yeah, I think it did, but now it's been turned off completely. It's made a total difference. Same 9 ball into the same pocket. But this time Gary Wilson misses it. And he misses it by a country mile.
Wow.
I said before he's prone to missing 9 balls. Sanderson taking no chances, applying the extension on the back of his cue. Quite easily this match could be 5-0 in favour of Wilson. In actuality, his lead is only 3-2, and that was a very poor miss. Not just the fact he missed it, which was bad enough, but it missed the pocket by a real distance. And mistakes like that missed 9 ball, Carl, they really resonate. Look at this. Okay, I'm not going to say it's the easiest 9 ball, but he should have potted it.
Yeah, that will hurt. And just the way that rack was unfolding, you felt like someone was going to win it off an error like that as well. He's let Sanderson back into this match.
The latest player into the last 64 tomorrow, John Morra, from Canada. He's beaten Damien Massey 9-4. And you know, the pool gods, when you miss a 9-ball, they punish as well. Look at this break off. In terms of satisfaction, the best that Sanderson could have hoped for. Balls everywhere, simple 2 to open. After this visit, he should achieve parity.
Yeah, to tie the match up. This has woke Sanderson up. He was asleep before the previous rack. All the balls are sat there. Look at this. The last 4 balls are all in the same half of the table, so this would take a big error not to tie the match up. Very much a confidence player, Elliott. That went in thick. Yeah, when we say thick, it means it's not going in the heart of the pocket, it's hit the rail and wobbled.
He's had plenty of experience being out there centre stage though, not least because he's played in back-to-back World Cups for Great Britain alongside Jason Shaw. I was impressed with Jason earlier. He's not feeling too well. I was chatting to his wife and to Jason subsequently, and he just wanted to get back, get some spicy soup, he said, to sweat this thing out. Well, his match wasn't a sweater. He won it convincingly against Jeffrey De Luna.
Yeah, at least he's got the night off. Can go and do what he needs to do to get himself 100%.
Okay, then let me give you some latest scores from this winners' qualification round as this match gets back onto an even keel. Alexander Kazakis on the hill against Tim de Ruyter at 8-7. Shane Walford back in front against Michael Bohannon at 5-4. Antonius Gakaris 6-3 up on Albin Auschen, who it seems to me has completely lost his form. Jose Alberto Delgado 6-5 on John Lagarde. On the hill, Jan van Leeuwen at 8-7 over Max Lechner. 5-5 now, Niels Feyen and Herson Martinez. The Peruvian entry here. Aloysius Yap 4-3 on Chan Gu Lung. That's after Yap led 3-0. And Oscar Dominguez fighting for the Mosconi Cup spot on the hill against Imran Majid, leading 8-7.
Dry break. Push out or kick shot for Mr. Wilson.
The other thing that Gary was telling me a couple of days ago actually was how he second guesses himself quite often when he's pushing out. Of course, it's second nature to players who've played pool their whole lives. For someone like him, who's still very much a relative newcomer, the push out is a mysterious beast. Would you regard yourself, Carl, as a good push-out artist?
Well, I don't actually know. Probably need JJ to watch the way I push out and see. But I never really felt like I pushed out. I felt like I always chanced it a lot. I always felt like I made it like a really difficult pot where something had to be done with a cue ball. I probably would say no, if I'm being honest. I'd probably be a little better now because I've watched so much. It's amazing what you learn when you're watching. This has gone wrong, Phil. Could see what the plan was there for Gary. He's left this wide open. Not saying Elliott's got a pot. An easy pot anyway. He can pot it in the pocket near the brown ball. But he'd be a brave player to take that on, especially when he's got the 2 ball and the 8 ball there. Didn't get the cue ball where he wanted, but he did control the 1 ball okay.
Might be one of those occasions where there's a sliver of the 1 sticking out, but it is so tiny. I think over that distance it might well be far too difficult to process and to execute. Well, maybe you can see more of it than we think. Oh yeah, that wasn't a sliver, that was a reasonable portion of the 1. And the 5 helps. Well, from Wilson's perspective, it helps.
Big favourite to pot this ball. Oh, he'd like to have that one again. I know you don't get 2 shots, but that will displease Elliott a lot. He was a huge favourite to pot that ball, and worst case, not to leave this shot for Gary. Well, Gary didn't even take it on. I can only think he didn't take it on because of the red 3, but that baffled me a little bit. You don't have to take the pot on. It's a good safety, isn't it?
Yeah, a large number of balls down the spine of the table, I think, influenced Wilson there to keep things tight, or at least try to.
Here comes the cue ball. That was very snooker-esque, Phil, like coming in behind the pink.
As I said before, that same phrase, old habits die hard. You see, they're hardwired into your mind, aren't they? If you went on a snooker table, Gary could point out where you were going wrong and you could point out where he's going wrong, but the point is, it's a process that takes months, well, years, and he's only played a handful of tournaments so far. He's got the basics, but the rawness is still there. I think that was one of the amazing things about Alison Fisher. Her transition from being dominant in the world of women's snooker to being dominant on the WPBA tour in America was very swift, within a year or so. Another result on table 3. Alexander Kazakis beating Tim de Ruyter 9-7.
Just left the edge here. We're in a peculiar little spot on the pool table here, because that 3 ball started to become opened up a bit, so the protection, the insurance is not there now. How's the cue ball here? This looks a good touch. needs help from the 8 ball. Wanted to get the cue ball wedged on the green 6, ideally. Still put Elliott in trouble though. You'd rather be sat in your chair and not playing this shot. Well, I would. Yeah, kicking. Just nothing really good can come from that. Been a good match this so far, Phil. We've only had 6 racks. Looks like Gary Wilson was going to start to run away from it. His own bad players let Elliott back in the match. 3-3. Both players have had opportunities in rack 7. Gary, just think of this as 5 points. You won't miss it. Yeah, there you go. 5 points to Gary Wilson.
Yeah, for the uninitiated, the blue in snooker is worth 5. And of course Wilson has knocked in plenty of reds in his time. On that occasion though, waits one. At least one. Cracking match going on table 4. Jan van Leerup and Max Lechner. Hill.
Good little player, that Jan van Leerup. You know, he's a young Dutch player, goes about his business, he travels all over to these events with his mother and father, doesn't really say much to anyone, he's a bit undercover, but he's a dangerous little player, that kid. I say kid, he's probably about 30.
Well, in relation to us, he is a kid.
And then talking of Dutch players, Niels Feyen is 6'5" down to Gerson Martinez Boza. What a name that is.
Oh, and what a fluke that is. Gary Wilson having a right old run.
Yeah, we're getting some ribbing after me, after this match from me, Phil, if he goes on to win.
He might have selective memory though, and he might dispute what you're saying.
Oh, and he landed on the 4 ball as well.
In a couple of months' time, he will be defending his Scottish Open title in Edinburgh. Snooker, that is. Beat Joe O'Connor in the final last year.
Yeah, Joe O'Connor. He come from the world of English 8 ball, I think, as a youth. He's been playing a little bit.
Yeah, that's right. He's from the city of Leicester, where the English 8 ball scene is quite vibrant. Fluky. Gary. That 9 ball goes into the heart of the pocket, and with that, fortuitously, he regains the lead at 4-3. Also on the hill, Jose Alberto Delgado against John Lagarde. Delgado leading 8-5. Let's have a look at some interesting matches on the losers qualification side. Well, no, Quang Trung, who beat Carlo Biardo earlier this week. He's 5-2 up on Rafael Debreo. We saw a snippet of the match on table 2, Sanyan Perlovanovic and BJ Ussery. Well, it's 4-3 to Perlovanovic, 5-2 for Lee Van Corteza over Din Tan Chung. Jeffrey DeLuna's in a little bit of early strife against Lin Shikai of Chinese Taipei, trailing 4-2. Francesco Candela of Italy, 6-1 up on Trin Van Bin. And Kopin Chung, the US Open champion, recently crowned in losers qualification. He leads To Lian Han 3-1. To Lian Han, by the way, I was watching a little bit of his match against Francisco Sanchez Ruiz. He made it 7-7. The World Nineball Tour rankings #1. He looked a little bit susceptible, but he pulled out the last 2 racks.
Yeah, just looking at the the matches that are due to come on at 5:30. That's an interesting one. SVB, who just lost Hill, playing that Marvin Assis from Philippines. He's obviously got to be a tidy player as well, so SVB could be in a little trouble to try and qualify here.
Yeah, there's some really good matches already in place in losers qualification. How about Ko Ping Han, the youngest of the three Ko brothers here? He's taking on Dennis Acolio, so that's youth against experience. And Ralph Suke will play Dennis Grabber. But Carl, before we can get all of the losers qualification matches going, we have to complete losers round 3. 3 stubborn matches in that round still going on. Tell you one player already through losers qualification, Johan Chur. He beat Kengo Suzuki of Japan 9-1. So the World Cup hero for the Philippines will be in action in the last 64 tomorrow.
Felt he had to bump the 2, couldn't really avoid that, so always taking a bit of a chance. Not exactly worked out ideal for Gary. This is very thin if he takes this on. Could take it on though. Not guaranteed position on the red 3 ball, are you?
Well, at least he made contact this time, but the jumping of Elliott Sanderson so far hasn't been all that stellar. He really thumped that Gary Wilson. He was hoping against hope he might find a gap. If he has done, even to see the red 3 again, that's very fortunate. No gap. Using that line of 3 balls to hide behind.
Been a funny rack, this one, rack number 8.
Yes, in common with several that preceded it.
Just trying to go inside the pocket in the 8 ball.
thought he might have fluked the 3 again.
Yeah, you can't see the pot, Elliott. Gary's just having this run of the ball, but it's only the first half of the match. Things like this do happen. Elliott's got to stay patient because it can soon switch around. Good shot. He was in a tricky spot there. Gary will hit this though, won't he? You feel like some sort of hit it may go near this corner pocket as well, Phil.
Well, in terms of leaving a pot, no damage done. But in terms of handing over the tactical initiative, damage was done.
Surely Elliott's going to get left a pot at some point. Not just yet though. I think Elliott's got to play a better safety shot though. Yeah, he can't pot the ball, but he has an opportunity to lay a real tough hook here. It's not too bad really, but Gary should go up the top rail. Do not come off the bottom rail, then the side rail, because if you come into the 3, very difficult to get this safe. If he goes off the top rail, he's missed a trick here. He needs pure luck. And he's definitely getting the run of the ball, Phil. Yeah, the idea there is you go off the top rail, off the right side rail, above the middle. When you hit it, cue ball can travel forward and look at all the balls at the bottom of the table. That's what a pool player would have done.
Earlier today when Anton Raga beat Billy Thorpe 9-8 from 8-1 down, you were over there, weren't you, Carl? And apparently when they shook hands, Billy said to Raga, "You're lucky." Well, what would he say if he was playing Gary Wilson at the moment? It's time and time again.
Yeah, this is just the game. Elliott, to some degree, listen, he wants to win the match. I get it. Been in this position myself. You start to think everything's against you, but the fact that it's 4-3 and he were 3 down, could have been going 4 down, could have stayed positive.
He struck that pretty well, but not quite well enough. He does have the consolation prize, but with the red 3 ball so close to the pocket, if Wilson can gain elevation and contact, it will drop. Oh, that was a total mess. Like when a pole vaulter approaches, tries to clear a certain height and gets nowhere near.
This is why you've got to stay patient in this game, because now he's waited probably a good 10 minutes in this rack. Balls were messy off the break. A few times kicking up balls, they were getting lucky, not leaving anything. But now he's got his genuine chance here. Day 3, Judgment Day here in Vietnam, the Hanoi Open Pool Championship, the inaugural, Phil. What a place. They've really welcomed the World Nineball Tour here. A lot of fans milling around, enjoying this. autographs, pictures, signings. It's all been going on.
I was down actually at the far end of the arena, not too far from table 1, actually in between table 1 and table 2 earlier, and Fedor Gorsht emerged from backstage and he was mobbed, signed autograph after autograph and poster photographs. Tell you what, he's a big star here.
Yeah, I asked him at the Perry Nineball Open, the tournament that he won. I asked him on about day 3 or 4, what's going on, Fedor? What you been doing? He said the large part of his YouTube following is from Vietnam. That's what he said. It's from the YouTube videos he posts.
Here it's 4-4. Currently, by the way, we've got 3 different rounds going on. A couple of matches left in losers round 2. Then losers round 3. Actually, losers round 2 is now complete. Losers round 3 has got a couple of matches. Winners qualification is going on, although the number of matches still out on the table is being reduced. And losers qualification in full swing. Let me give you those winners qualification scores. A couple of results. It's been a good tournament so far for the Spanish contingent, and Jose Alberto Delgado is through to the last 64 with a 9-5 win over John Lagarde. Late comeback from Max Alekna, the Austrian, beating Jan van Leerup 9-8. Match is still going on. Shane Walford 7-4 over Michael Bohannon. Antonius Kakaris now 6-5 over Albin Auschen, who is fighting hard. Give you some more at the end of this rack.
The break shot is what is making this very intriguing contest here, because nobody's putting the one on the break, not even Elliott, the pool player.
Yeah, it's leading to a lot of staccato exchanges, lots of disjointed pool.
Here comes the push out.
It's a game within a game, the push out. Also, this call, it requires lateral thinking, doesn't it? It also helps if you've got full knowledge of your opponent's capabilities. Sometimes it just comes down to a simple hunch, I suppose.
Ooh, Phil, look at this one. This has all gone wrong. This doesn't look good as well. Oh, the cue ball looked like it was pulling away for a second, but the positional shot's gone wrong. It's just turned into a real battle, this one now.
And maybe this is why he's not done an awful lot this season, Elliott Sanderson. I think his best result, he was tied 17th at the Derby City Classic Nineball. When you consider around 500 entries for that, that was a pretty good effort.
Well, this is a good shot. Elliott has missed a big trick there. He's got himself in this position.
Also got to the quarterfinals of the Jacoby Nineball Open in his home club. Last 16 of the Scottish Open again on home soil. but in terms of these major World Nineball Tour ranking events, he's yet to really shine. Well, we always said, didn't we, after the Shane Van Boening-Kyle Amorotto match, which was simply magnificent, both in terms of drama and quality, that these two would have a tough act to follow. Well, frankly, they're not following it at all, with anything akin to what we saw in the third match of the day.
Yeah, we're not even halfway there yet, but you just get the sense that this is going to go down to the wire as well.
Now that was well cued. That's the kind of pot that's a confidence booster. Four pots away, Elliott Sanderson from leading for the first time in the match.
Is this the moment Sanderson starts to break away in this match?
You might well be right, Carl. He leads 5-4. Did you see much of the Shane Van Boening-Kyle Amorotto match? It really was a joy.
I seen the end of it. I went to Starbucks with Gary on the moped, like I said, and then when we come back, the crowd around the table, it was obviously all the seats were around it, and then there was people stood around them, and I had to actually move because it was about 4 or 5 deep where I'd come in the arena, and then some of the seating banking was full. I was like, wow, this is what it's about. It's class.
You might say the cue ball should not have been anywhere close to that middle pocket when Van Boening knocked in the 7 in the deciding rack. That said, though, when we saw the replay, the entrance it made was at such an acute angle. Basically, there was only room for a ball to go in, and of course it did slide in without touching the jaws. Had it done so, had it caught that near jaw, it would have been repelled and he would have been okay.
Yeah, talking about Americans, I've just seen table 17, Oscar Dominguez, 8-8 with Imran Majid. That one's gone to a Hill shootout as well.
Yeah, Shane Walford, who, like Dominguez, is in the shake-up for possible Mosconi Cup selection. He's 7-6 up on Michael Bohannon. Another player in the same boat, BJ Ussery, 6-4 down to Sanyin Polovanovic. Great match going on table 26. Aloysius Shat now 6-5 up on Chang Yulung. remember, although it's the loser's side we're watching, the loser's qualification is the only round on the loser's side where you have to get to 9, not 8, to go through. Get a real sense that the tournament's come alive today. And what a great arena it is for the spectators, because they can mill around and move from match to match. Here's a snippet of Table 2. Of course, you can see all of the action over there on the Matchroom Multisport YouTube channel. Not just this encounter, but all of them today and going forward. BJ Usuri trying to get back within a rack of young Sajin Pilovanovic. Everyone's under pressure in these big tournaments, but I think the Americans, who are trying to curry favour with Jeremy Jones and get in that Mosconi Cup inclusion picture, I think they're under the most.
Two-rail kick tempting, may pot the 8. Nearly potted the 8. So you've got to trust the table, because Gary, I think, can just roll forward with a cue ball 3 inches to nestle on the 9 ball. It's actually a scary shot, this. Oh yeah, good shot. Very good shot. Looks easy, but let me tell you, they're always a little nerve jangling, them ones.
Yeah, you wouldn't fancy playing that shot yesterday when the air conditioning was blowing and things could go askew. This table is really true now, and that's why Wilson put his faith in it.
Missed the 2 ball. That tells you all you need to know. Yeah, just a bit too wide into the far jaw. That's always going to spit it back out.
This is a vitally important rack. If Wilson were to lose it, I think he might be in danger of losing a little bit of heart.
Always find yourself in these positions though, it's just not easy. It's like now, what shot do you play here? The safety shot's difficult, the bank shot's not really on, it's thin either way. It's not a dead set bank. Is he trying to go in behind the 6 with the cue ball? Yeah, that's gone wrong. The only good thing is distance cueing off the rail. Yeah, Gary will walk back to his chair, be happy with the outcome there. Again, it's a little bit like, I feel like Elliott's got the initiative here in this match. He just needs to play the telling safety, not a basic safety where it's easy to hit. He's got to try and get Gary in a little bit more trouble from these positions. I'm not saying this position's easy, by the way. All ball fouls. That means if you touch another ball, it will be a foul. I know some places in Asia and America, you can actually touch the 6 ball. It's not a foul, Phil. Imagine that. I couldn't believe it the first time I went to Philippines and that happened.
Yeah, that's ludicrous. It really is. Hot off the press, by the way, I can't tell you what is up next on table 1. Jeremy Jones and Michael McMullen will be commentating on Chris Melling against Billy Thorpe. Momentum there, very different for the two players. Melling lost his opening match, he's won the next 3. Thorpe, though, still reeling, no doubt, from that defeat 9-8 by Anton Raga from 8-1 up.
Yeah, what a match that is to commentate on. The fast-paced Melling against the brash Billy Thorpe. I'm sure JJ's glad he's in the booth for that one. Do you think he'll be on Billy's side, Phil?
I don't think, I know.
Oh, Elliott needs the 4 ball to come to the rescue. It's not going to. Chance for Wilson to tie this one up. A little bit stretchy. Don't know if he's got an extension with him. I mean, he'll be pretty good with the rest, obviously. Going from the 12-foot snooker table where you use the rest a lot more. Ah, he has got an extension.
No, it's gone.
Got to get the pace right here.
He's already missed one 9-ball in this contest to this very same pocket. Not that one though. Once again, we're all level. It was 3-3, it was 4-4, and now, ladies and gentlemen, it is 5-5. And I think the way things have gone, it's fair to say, Carl boys, we're no wiser as to who is going to win this one.
No, haven't got a clue. Elliott Sanderson's wife watching on.
Yeah, it's a pretty nervy business, isn't it? Not just for the players, but also for family members. Tell you what, on the losers qualification side, on table 12, Ko Ping Chung not having things all his own way against the veteran from Singapore, To Lian Han. Ko leading, but only 4-3. Neil Svian on table 15 is through. He's beaten Gerson Martinez of Peru 9-6. That was a match of fluctuating fortunes, but when the chips were down, Svian produced. Also a win. How about this for Oscar Dominguez? 9-8 over Imran Mashid. Aloysius Shap on the hill against Chang Yulong at 8-5. Albin Aushin 6-3 down at his lowest ebb against Antonios Kakaris. Now Aushin leading 7-6. And Shane Walford and Michael Bohannon locked together 7-7. They're the only winners' qualification matches going on now. Just the three of them. Losers round 3 is complete. So we're getting there. We're whittling down competitors. And by the end of play today, only 64 will be left standing. Sanderson turns away, does not like that, asking for trouble.
Yeah, welded to the 2-ball makes all the difference because it cuts away this little side rail that the cue ball's next to. Good hit from Sanderson though. Cue ball's close to the corner, it'll stay dry.
Has to be overjoyed with that one. Now just while we're in this safety exchange, let me give you a very interesting early score in losers qualification on table 4. David Al-Kaidi, winner of the European Open in August, trailing a once very familiar name to UK pool devotees, Pat Holt. There's always at least one massive name in the world of Nineball who misses out on single elimination. Maybe it's going to be Al-Kaidi. Maybe it's going to be Koping Chung because Tolian Han, the stubborn veteran, has pulled level at 4-4. Oh, round the back of the one, ball in hand. Wilson's got the opportunity to regain the lead. Wilson can't believe it. He thought he'd potted the 2, but it stayed on the table somehow. I'd like to see a replay of that call.
I'll tell you what, Phil, this match has had a little bit of everything. Incredible.
Wilson was convinced that was accurate enough, but when you look at it again, especially at that pace, you can maybe understand why the 2 refused to drop. no single referee devoted to these matches. There's one referee for 4 tables, and they have to do intricate stuff like this. But at the moment he's not being quite intricate enough.
Well done, sir.
Vietnam have another player in the last 64, Luong Duc Tien, who whitewashed Masato Yoshioka 9-0. Also there, No Quang Trung. He beat Rafael Debreo 9-3. You might remember No, the man responsible for sending Carlo Biano to the one-loss side. Into the last 64 from losers qualification, Lee Van Corteza beating Din Tan Chung 9-4. These blind cutbacks. Oh, well, I was thinking he was going to cut it back. He doubled it, but that wasn't the real story. The story was the carom on the 9. There you go. Well judged. Well judged from Elliott Sanderson, who for the second time takes the lead at 6-5 on this occasion. But he's feeling the heat.
Two-way shot there from Sanderson. There's another look. The 9 goes. The purple 5 also goes.
Can't tell you a player who could well lift the trophy on Sunday night. Alorcha Shiap is through at the expense of Chang Yulung, 9-5. So only 2 winners' qualification matches are still out there. Michael Boanan of the Philippines now on the hill against Shane Walford at 8-7. Antonio Skakaris and Albin Aushin 7-7.
Sanderson has not broke well in this match at all, Phil. He just can't get the one in the side. Yeah, looking at where Albin Olsen's playing, there's a few bystanders there watching it because they know that match has got close. And just in front of Albin, the juniors have entered the building, practicing on the 4 tables right in front of us, Phil.
Yeah, in conjunction with all of the major World Nineball Tour ranking events, we have a junior competition now. The one in Spain was named after Francisco Sanchez Ruiz. The one in UK after Jason Shaw. Of course, the one at the US Open is named for Shane Van Boning. It's a great idea, tremendous initiative, and the youngsters just love it. The one in Fulda at the European Open, that was the Fillers Junior Open, named after both Joshua and his wife Pia.
Needs a cue ball to slow down here, or he needs to hit the 2 full to still leave the pot. Tough to see from here. And he's having a look, so that is a useful nudge, because he can come down to the right side of the table for the 3. Wants to be careful, the green 6 ball is a big ball, could end up snookering himself behind that very ball. Seems to be okay, that. He can come round the back of the 6 now. Playing for the pink 4 in the same pocket. Just losing the cue ball a little bit here and there. Again, losing the cue ball near the rail.
No, sir. Let me quickly tell you news of a setback for a Moscone Cup hopeful from America. Shane Walford beaten in winners qualification by Michael Bohannon of, you guessed, the Philippines. The Filipinos as a whole having a great tournament. Prospects for Elliott Sanderson are brightening.
Yeah, just 4 balls away from opening up a couple of rack game difference here. He's missed the 6 ball. He has missed the 6 ball.
When you miss a ball of that ease, you do not deserve to get away with it, but the green 6 ran safe.
Elliott keeps Gary's hopes alive. Not sure how good that really is. Tough to get this one safe, you know. Rail first, you're always trying to get the cue ball somewhere safe and the 6 ball. So if he floats, well, he's going this way, probably for that very reason. He needs to at the bottom side of it. Oh, he'd be delighted with that. Elliott won't be delighted. Look, he's smiling coming round, not happy. But he had his chance in this rack, Phil. These pool players forget that. They feel like the world's against them, but he missed the ball for the rack.
Yeah, they have that ability, don't they? Not just in pool, but in snooker and presumably all cue sports, to block out what they've done and just concentrate in a negative way, actually, about what they perceive to be bad luck. Now, one has to say, over the course of this match, Sanderson has had his share of ill fortune, or more accurately, Gary Wilson's had his share of good fortune. But the point is, there is nothing you can do about it. All you can do is just try and concentrate as hard as you can and not let fate undermine you. Every time he has to pot a 9-ball, it is seemingly always into this pocket. 6-6. Trading racks now. Neither player can get into the ascendancy for any great amount of time. You saw on the back of his shirt there, likes to be known as the Tyneside Terror. Well, he's not terrorising Elliott Sanderson, but he's back on level terms. Only one match left in winners' qualification, and as we suspected, I was talking about this right at the start of the match, Antonius Kakaris and Albin Aushin have been slogging away to 7-7. Over on table 2 right now, BJ Ussery in trouble, 8-6 down. The man on the hill is Sanyan Pilavanovic. Jeff DeLuna, he made a slow start to his match against Lin Chi Kai, but now he's back on level terms at 6-6. And I can tell you, Ko Ping Chung, US Open champion in Atlantic City, what seems like just a few hours ago, in fact it was a few days ago. He's 5-4 down to To Lian Han. And Marvin Assis has taken the opening rack on table 3 from a certain Shane Van Boening.
Yeah, we're so used to the Asian players flying over to the States and Europe. They've got to suffer with a jet lag. This time it's the other way around. We've had to fly over here, so we're going to see some of the European players go out early because of that.
You know, sometimes poor matches can be remembered for enthralling finishes. This might be the case here. Because let's face it, neither have played to a very high standard. Cue ball welded in behind the black. He wasn't sure, Wilson. That's why the shot took a while. He wasn't sure whether that was actually on. But the white did avoid the black 8 ball. 2 went down table. Now if Sanderson could make contact with the 2, it could go in off the 3. But he didn't. And now ball in hand, Wilson's got the really good opportunity he craved to regain the lead. Could be a rapid conclusion here. 4-9 combination should be simple enough, although he's missed a combination to that pocket earlier, not on that occasion. Tell you what, at least it's competitive, and even now the outcome well and truly up in the air. That was the key shot, the hook on the 2 that set up the 4-9 combination. So Wilson, he led 3-0 at his best, then 4-3. Went into a lull there, but now he's back in front at 7-6. And breaking. Can he find something special with the break? I think the answer is no, a resounding no.
Just the break from both players is actually what's made this a pretty intriguing contest, Phil. Don't recall any break and runs. Don't recall anyone potting the one off the break. If it's happened once or twice.
For fans of double world 9-ball champion Albin Ouschen, good news, not through yet on table 11 in the last winners qualification match still going, but he's 8-7 up on the hill against Antonios Kakaris. As for Gary Wilson, another useful kiss, even though the one has been left. At least Wilson has achieved distance.
Yeah, potting it. What do you do on the blue 2? Maybe try and pot it and just come back up table. Work out the blue 2 from there. Very thin off the left side of the blue 2 to pot the 7. That's exactly where he needs to hit, he's just showing him. Which means it's not easy to control the 2 and the cue ball if he pots the 7. And he's missed the 7. Here comes the cue ball.
We've repeatedly mentioned this, he's not had the best run in this match. Yes, that is indisputable. But he's not played well, has he? This will be a contest that if he does lose, he should regret.
It's about momentum, Phil. And if you remember 3-0 to Gary Wilson, through the next couple of racks away, and it become a bit of a battle between both guys. But Elliott was 6-5 up. He had 4 balls, easy balls. Missed an easy 6 to go 7-5 up, and he's handed that back to Gary now. So it's all in Gary's hands now.
Yeah, you're right, at 3-0. Wilson missed the 5 ball. Lengthy pot, but the 5 was close to a pocket, should have gone in. And then if you remember, in the 5th rack, he overcut the 9 by a ways. Seemed to be losing his way in the match. Not anymore. He's reassumed the role of favourite. Deliberate foul played, trying to tie up the 3 with the black 8 ball, and he's achieved it.
Yeah, clever shot, just to bide some time. Also, Gary Wilson could have gone for the 2 ball and tried to rip it back, so he showed a little bit of patience as well.
On the American Mosconi Cup qualifying front, well, BJ Usuri out of the event, beaten 9-6 by Sanyan Pelovanovic. Also through to the last 64 tomorrow. The solid Italian Francesco Candela beating Trin van Bin 9-5 in losers qualification. Marvin Assis 2-0 up on Shane van Boning.
Elliott's a big favourite to hit the 2. He's not a big favourite to not leave a shot. Got to try and get the cue ball moving fast. Yeah, that's not bad. Yeah, he's left a shot, but at least there's a bit of distance, and that 3 ball is still tied up. Wonder if Gary will try and pop the 2 and then just play some sort of containing safety. Could maybe bump the 3 around the table, keep the cue ball near the 8. To Mr. 9.
Earlier today, Carl, when you started this match, you said the great thing about Nineball, it's full of variety. Look at the 2 matches we've seen back to back here, completely different, a study in contrasts.
Yeah, and both enthralling in their own right. He's kicked it in, he's landed on the 4. What a moment here.
And all of that ill fortune has been wiped away in one fell swoop. Now remember, as Carl said, in rack 12, the 6 came to bite Elliott Sanderson. It was a simple pot, as is this. Okay then, they are inseparable once more. Gary Wilson tried to look impassive, but this was a blow. He'd laid a pretty good hook, and then the whole rack changed when, in escaping the hook, Sanderson knocked in the 3 and went from strength to strength.
Said it was going to be a close one. Kind of got that feeling when it got back to 3-2, just because both players had missed chances and opportunities.
Can tell you, Takashi Uraka, who beat Chris Melling. Well, Uraka is on the hill in losers qualification against David Barler at 8-4. Sanderson not happy with the way the balls were racked, making absolutely sure, and of course at this vital stage of the match, why not?
I'm not so sure you're allowed to do that. I forgot, what's the rule on that, Phil? I always thought the players weren't allowed to check, you just had to break. Maybe that's from the final 16, I'm not sure. But it's another break where the one ball has not been made in the side. And this is an opportunity for Wilson. He's got to get from this 1 to the 2 with a good angle, which should be okay.
Never a good thing to lean over like that. You can really compromise your alignment and badly time the shot, but Wilson's okay there. Not okay here though. Ooh, so close to the scratch, so close. And he can't do an awful lot with the cue ball there. Then potting the 3 to get down on the 4. Has to elevate the cue. He's done well, you know, he's got the maximum out of that.
Yeah, and the way both players have struggled in this match, you just feel like whoever gets on the hill first, it'll just ease that pressure a little bit. Sit back in the chair, really happy. Cue ball's coming around nice here, it's a good pace.
Albin Auschen, what a fighter. Not got his best stuff, hasn't had his best pool for a while, but he's won from 6-3 down against Antonios Kakaris. 9-7, we'll see Auschen tomorrow. That was in winners qualification, which is now complete. It's been amazing how many 9 balls Wilson's had to knock into this very same pocket. One was well wide of the mark, but the others have been on target, including that one. So he's on the hill first. He leads Elliott Sanderson 8-7, but who's to say this will not go all the way. The way the match has gone, certainly in its second half, it's been a case of trading racks. As the commentary booth is approached by a couple of superstars of the matchroom world, Karis Rowlands and Phoebe Miller, who do all the hard work. We just enjoy ourselves.
Phil, you've always got the females following you around the venue, I've noticed that.
Yeah, probably to pick up after me. I'm always making a mess with crisp packets and Coke cans. So then, Gary Wilson's not played his best pool here, one has to say that. and yet he could gain the victory that, as we said, would give him 4 out of 4 in making the last 64 single elimination of major world ranking tournaments on the World Nineball Tour this year. He did it at the UK Open, the Spanish Open, the European Open. What about the Hanoi City Nineball Championship?
Yeah, I'm not sure how after this performance, Phil. Oh, he's made a ball at last. It weren't the one ball. Not great, is it? Not great in the sense of he's no pot to win the match. Enjoyed this game though. It's been a good old battle on the grey bays.
Yeah, I've said the words green bays a million times in my life, but never the grey bays. I like that.
Oh, has he fluked the treble? Ooh, close at both points.
That old cliche, a game of fractions. Had that one ball gone in, Sanderson might have been toast. Remember, this is a loser's qualification. No safety net. If you are defeated, you are eliminated.
Got a bit of an angle here, so he's okay. Needs a good angle on the pink 4 though, because believe it or not, the purple 5 is a little awkward. Just because he can't come back down the table, the green 6 blocks its pocket. Oh, is he playing for the bank?
I know this is a very important juncture, but I've got to give you the scoreline. Marvin Assis 4-0 up on Shane van Boening.
Wow, SVB could be going out of this year's Hanoi Open Pool Championships. He had 3 balls left at Hill Hill and he scratched to get on the 8 ball. How big is that going to be? Oh, this is a good shot. This is a very good shot. Well done. Well done, Elliott Sanderson.
I think it's a match that deserves to go down to the wire. When you think after 3-1, Sanderson won rack 5 and there's never been more than one rack in it ever since.
Good angle here as well. That makes life easy to get on the 8. SVB has won a rack. So that match is now 4-1. 4-1 down, SVB. Fighting to stay in this year's Hanoi Open. Also fighting hard, Elliott Sanderson. 2 balls away from a Hill Hill shootout. Looks like we're going to get it, Phil. Back-to-back Hill Hill finishes here on table 1 on day 3.
And I think it's entirely fair to say that that was the best rack he's played in the entire match when he really needed it, and that's a good sign. So it's a precarious place to be in when it's just one rack to decide your fate. Tell you what, it's a lengthy journey back to the UK as well. You don't want to take it having lost by the odd rack in 17, but one of those is going to endure that fate. And now, because he's breaking off, Sanderson is the favourite. If you're a lover of our YouTube offerings, Matchroom Multisport, well, table 2 now, it's Chang Yulong against Carlo Biardo. Two of the finest players from Asia going head to head in the losers qualification. A couple of racks have been played. They've been shared. Koping Chung was 5-4 down to To Lian Han. Now though, the recently crowned US Open champion is in front at 7-5. Jan van Leeuwen, he lost Hill in winners qualification, but he's bouncing back okay. He's 3-1 up on Warren Kiamko. Same score for Zhao Griot over Herson Martinez. Mika Immonen 2-1 up on Imran Majid. So many Filipinos in the field this week. John Lagarde, he's taking on a fellow countryman, Amiel Leonor. Early stages of that match on table 25, it's 2-1 to Lagarde. Kuo Po Cheng, 6-3 up on Sharik Saeed. Pat Holtz and David Al-Kadi now locked together at 4-4. So much good pool in this losers qualification round. And Jeffrey De Luna on the verge of elimination. His opponent, Lin Shikai of Chinese Taipei, on the hill at 8-6. De Luna, of course, who was beaten quite heavily earlier on today by an in-form Jason Shaw. And Takashi Uraka, who surprised Chris Melling in the very first round. Well, Uraka is 8-6 up on David Barler. So needing one more rack, the Japanese player to make it into tomorrow as well. Here we go. It's all on this.
Nineball's close. Thought it was coming across corner. Actually his best break of the match, just because he made the one in the side. Seemed to break harder as well. Here's another look. One ball straight in the side. Cue ball back into the 9. 2 ball has got some form of pocket to go past the 6. Got to draw back a little bit there. Oh yeah, it goes alright.
I'll tell you what, considering the situation and the pressure, that was a free stroke. That was a very nicely cued shot.
Smells victory, doesn't he? He's got to get on this 4 ball anywhere over to the right hand side of the table. And I'll tell you what, he's okay, you know, he's got a nice angle here. This is a good chance. The only way this can go wrong is if he underhits this positional shot or overhits it. Overhits it, brings a scratch into the middle into play. Yeah, here we go. Here we go, he's overhit this ball. Hard for us to see here, Phil. All depends. Does he go in the corner where the cue ball naturally takes its path, or can he go into the middle? Tough for us to see here. However, it is a big shot. It's not ideal for Elliott. Gary will know this.
Oh, the pink 4 ball wobbles and refuses to find gravity, much to Gary Wilson's relief, much to Elliott Sanderson's horror. Cue ball very close to the long rail. Oh, that's very unlucky.
Yeah, it was the wrong shot though, Phil. Sorry I'm saying it's unlucky, but he should have just potted it a bit softer and just make sure you can see the 5. It's hill. At the end of the day, you've got to be kind of change your game plan a little bit. It's always going to be difficult to get on the 5 anyway, so why not just pot it and leave some sort of shot. Got to hit this ball. Oh, he's missed it. No, that should be the end really, because I think the 8 also passes the 9. Even if it doesn't actually where the 7 is, he can play for the 8 in the other corner. Yeah, and that tells me the 8 passes. Second chance for Sanderson.
Yeah, when he missed the 4, he must have been fearing the worst. Now he's a lot more optimistic, or at least he should be. As we've said before, Carl, he's known as the Shouter. Will he let out a primal scream if he knocks in the 9?
I don't think he will. Not the way the performance has gone down. Usually after a big performance, the Shouter may shout. A little short of pace. I mean, still okay. Asking himself questions here, Phil.
Here we go. No scream, no shout. Oh, there is now. There is now. It was a little delayed. Elliott Sanderson, he will not be happy with his display overall, but he'll be very happy with the outcome. Now let's just dissect this deciding rack. Basically, Sanderson missed the 4. Wilson, and I'm not disputing what Carl is saying in the slightest. Carl thought he played the wrong shot, but nevertheless he was unfortunate to hook himself, did not escape, and with his second chance, Sanderson stumbled over the line at 9-8. That means he's in the draw for the last 64.